on that note, the first thing I want to talk about today is just the idea of literally taking action. I saw a recent Hormozi short that was like the guy, I think it was the Jack Neal podcast, if I'm not mistaken, and he asked Alex, like, if all of your content was erased, all of your business advice, all this stuff was erased from the internet, and you just had to give that one piece of advice, consolidated, what would it be? And Alex said something along the lines of figure out what you want to do, ignore the opinions of others, and do so much volume that it would be unreasonable that you would be unsuccessful. And I think that is it word for word. So I'll give myself a pat on the back for actually quoting it pretty soundly. But I really agree. It's really so many people, in my opinion. I was riffing on this on Twitter the other day. So many people and I feel like when people say that, it's kind of like, how do you know? You're not like studying other people. I just feel like I get the sense that this is a thing because I deal with it. I kind of witness between the lines other people dealing with this. And it's that we deal so much with, worrying that it's the correct move, that it seems cool to others, that it's socially acceptable, that we have the motivation to do it, that we're in the right state. We feel kind of like tired that day, or we don't feel optimal, or, we don't want to go to the gym, every single day or consistently 5 days a week, or, put in like literally 4 hours of actually building your thing or working on your business every day. It's like, oh, I'll watch 2 hours of YouTube videos and like think about like kind of plan, like, is this the right move? Or like I'm shopping for softwares or like, this would be a cool like to-do list tracker for my time. And it's like, no, why don't you just do the work instead of like trying to figure out all these ways to over engineer how you're going to do the thing? Like if your goal is to start, selling t-shirts, like literally make t-shirts and try to get people to buy them. And like anything else other than that is like fluff, in my opinion. It's really just the Nike motto of just do it. And that's why it's one of the best slogans of all time, in my opinion. Just do it is like supremely powerful. And I was kind of saying on Twitter, like, um, we deal so much with things below the surface. And what I mean by that is like, you know, just our thoughts, our feelings, our emotions, our vibes. Like, does that person, is that person, do they not want to buy from me because of what I said or this or that? It's like, no, what actually comes to the surface is how you present yourself, your body language, the words you say, how you act on camera. Like you guys don't know what's going on beneath the surface for me right now. What I was dealing with earlier today, what my state is right now. Do I have a headache? Do I have this? Do I think this is going to be a good video? Do I think it's going to be a worthwhile video? I don't know, but I'm taking the action, I'm saying the words, and I'm doing the thing. And I think that's really all that matters. Like it's literally like the iceberg. Like 90% of it is like what rises to the surface, what happens in the real tangible world. And that's just actions, behaviors, real life reps, real life experience doing the things. There's a reason why, a surgeon with 30 years of experience doing it is, better off than someone who's new, is because they have the reps. They've seen the things in real life with their real eyes, and they've done the moves with their real hands. So I just wanted to kind of riff on that a little bit, talk about Hormozi's quote, and put my own spin on it, my own thoughts on it, because I totally agree. Guys, if anything, take action, just do it. Like in literally doing in the real world, saying the real world things. Like even in dating, like I've been like studying like different like dating coaches and things like that, and so many dudes are like, yeah, but this and yeah, but that. And it's like, how many of you guys are actually going out and meeting new people and talking to new people and making friends and making plans and saying things to girls or like whatever the case is, right? And it's really a solution to like most of your problems, in my opinion, is like literally just doing it. And I think you get the point at this point, and I'm sure Chris probably feels similarly. So, anything else to add there, Chris, or what do you think about that quote and that thought in general? Do you think there, or maybe to play devil's advocate, do you think there's more to be said for the other side of things, the intangibles, what you don't see, like state and feelings and emotions? Like, sure, but in my opinion, like the buck stops at the real life action and what really happens and the reps that you take.
Yeah, I think I think the key thing is that like feeling great and feeling focused and feeling like optimal state all the time is obviously going to make you generally a more productive or motivated person. But uh, I think what you're saying, like the important part is that we spend so much time and effort, like thinking about how to optimize the things beneath the surface and how to fix all of these things beneath the surface when really like all of the above surface stuff is the stuff that really matters, like in reality. Um, and so I think it's a really helpful kind of mantra to repeat to yourself of just like, okay, yes, today I don't feel great, but like I just need to take action anyway. And you string enough of those days together, and eventually you do feel great, and then you're feeling, you're feeling focused by default, or optimal in whatever way that is for you. But I'm going to read you a quote that kind of aligns with this. In the early days, the risk is not choosing the wrong idea; it's choosing nothing. Inaction is the risk. The more you take action, the more you learn which ideas are worth pursuing, and the more you acquire the skills necessary to execute on the right ideas. If you think about it, it's actually better that you sharpen your axe on the bad ideas so you can be more effective when the right idea comes along. It would suck to waste a good idea on someone who's not ready to maximize. So basically, like the risk that like we worry about like choosing the right idea or working on the right thing or taking the right step, but like really the risk is just not doing anything. It's like convincing yourself it's not worth doing anything at all. um so I mean, I think the simple, like the razor here is quickly make decisions, like quickly decide if something is worth doing, and if there's a tangible action that you can take to like get yourself more information about that idea or about that thing, take that first action, like piece of tangible real action right away. Like for instance, if you wanted to decide if you can monetize your YouTube traffic, you just set up a landing page. That's like the first tangible piece of action you can take is set up a landing page, try to draw some traffic to it, and see if it works. And if it doesn't matter, change course, do something else. But yeah, take action. That's the main thing.
Yeah. And I mean, I have like so many different like spin-off quotes that I've heard and thoughts from this. And that's why I feel like it's so powerful is because it really is a central theme is action and everything like that. A couple of them, for example, in the startup space, they say fail fast. What does that imply? That means you're going out and taking imperfect action. Like you're expecting to not do well. Why? Because you just started, because you're starting with this infant understanding of this thing, but you're through that action is how you grow, how you learn, how you get the feedback necessary to iterate and keep the flywheel going. So fail fast. That is a supporting theme of taking action. And then I also heard some other guy say confidence only comes from imperfect action or something like that. Actually, it's uh, yeah, confidence only comes from competence, and competence only comes from brave, imperfect action. So you are literally going up to the thing and saying, I know this is going to be imperfect. It's not going to be ideal, and I'm going to fail, but I'm going to do it bravely because this is a new thing. It's scary. I might get rejected. I might fail. I might lose money, but I'm going to do it knowing that I'm going to fail and it's a brave thing. And that's how you get competence is by the action, by the reps, and then you gain confidence after. That's when you get to that state when you've been there, you've done that, you have the confidence to back it up. And confidence, I do, so many people talk about mindset and woo woo confidence and stuff. I'm on the kind of the side of confidence really comes from really being that guy that walked the walk. You really are him. Like sure, you can maybe fake it, but it's not true. Another spin off of this is like that whole thing that a bunch of content creators throw at you on YouTube. Don't waste your 20s. Don't waste your youth. And it's like, well, first of all, bro, like don't get too assumptive to like assume that all of your viewers are like wasting their time. It's just annoying whenever I, and this is just a side tangent, it's like one of my pet peeves. Whenever content creators make content with the titles like they're pretty much implying that you're like some loser. So they're like, why you suck at this, or like why it's like, bro, don't assume that. I don't want to see that on my feed. I don't want that those frames being thrown at me of like that I suck at this, that I'm wasting my 20s. It's like, hold up, don't get too assumptive on me. But that's one of my pet peeves. But the whole concept of like don't wasting your 20s, the solution is to take action because you waste your 20s when you don't make change, you don't do the things you want to do, you never, try the thing, take the risk, start the business, like go to the job that you actually were wanting to go to. And all of that requires action and just knowing that yes, it's scary, yes, it's new, yes, I probably will fail or it's whatever, but I took action and I tried. And maybe you stick with that thing and you try and iterate and you actually succeed at it, or at least you're figuring out, like you said, Chris, what you want to do. And then another final thought experiment, from this is like take the guy that feels like crap. And okay, so say we're in a social setting, right? And we're at a bar or something, going back to like my dating example. Say you have like some guy who's like socially awkward and like not great, but you have like, a Chad theoretically that like looks good on paper, all the I's dotted and whatever. The awkward guy, say he goes up and he makes 10 or 20, in very imperfect cold approaches to like random people in the bar, whether it's dudes, girls, whatever. Um, and he does that consistently over time just because he has that bravery in him and he knows that he has to take action to change from maybe a socially awkward person with no social life to one that does. Versus the Chad who just like kind of, we all have that in us that like, that's not cool. That I don't want to do that. That's not me. I'm a cool guy. I don't go up and talk to people. And so that guy stays where he is. But the socially awkward guy who actually goes and does that, yeah, sure, it might take him longer than if the Chad was taking action. He has more leverage because maybe he's just naturally more, socially calibrated and whatever. But the other guy just simply took action, and he's going to get way further, in my opinion. Like if you can visualize this thought experiment, do the math in your head, like if this guy is actually going up and talking to that many people and like working on his social skills, like slowly but surely over the weeks, months, years, that guy's actually going to make a ton of progress, in my opinion. So do these kind of thought experiments. Like the guy who just takes a lot of action, makes 5 YouTube videos a day across 2 channels or whatever the case is, right? Versus the guy who hasn't made a YouTube video because he's still like waiting and he's like, I don't want my production quality to be low, or I don't want the content quality or what we're talking about to be low. That guy's just the previous guy's going to get way further. So many things to sprout off of that, and hopefully I'm not exhausting this point too much. But if there's anything you think about any of those, Chris, let me know.
No, I like it. I
Yeah.
don't have anything to add.
Yeah. So guys, I mean, I think I really hammered that one home. It's a really important theme in my life. If I were to like get a tattoo or something, it would like literally that's like something I would consider because something in that theme because it's so important to your life, like fulfillment, and just, and it all revolves around you actually doing the thing and building up the reps, building up the actions and the behaviors. So take action, guys. And it's going to be imperfect. You probably will fail, but just understand that if you do that again and again, failing, in the process, you're going to get to where you want to go. Another example is I've been on a jujitsu journey and I started as a white belt with one stripe, getting tapped out all the time. But now I'm like 10 months in and I'm feeling pretty darn good about where I am. But we started off failing a bunch and I just knew that this is going to be a time thing. And a cool thing about jujitsu is like the belt ranking system really like drives it into your head that you are below someone if you have spent less time in the game than them. You get a stripe or a rank increase in jujitsu when you've simply, gone to enough classes and your instructor sees that you've made progress to deserve that rank. And so it's cool because the only way to get to blue belt, because I'm still a white belt, the only way to get there is to keep showing up and keep getting better. And so it's really just driving that point of like literally just showing up, taking the actions and understanding it's going to be imperfect along the way. But if you keep at it, you'll get there. So I think that's pretty much all on that point. And Chris, I don't know if you wanted to talk